National Conference is currently underway in Ulundi on the northern KwaZulu-Natal. The conference was supposed to be held in 2016 but was put on hold due to party internal problems affecting the IFP. Among the issues on the top of the conference agenda is how to revive the IFP's aligned student wing, Sadesmo, which once controlled SRCs in Mangosuthu University of Technology and the University of Zulu-land, has seen the organization's support decline. For more on this story, we now cross live to our reporter Ayanda Mhlongo. Ayanda, thanks very much indeed for joining us. What can you tell us about what's happening on the ground?
Yeah, very good morning to you, Pete, and good morning to our viewers. And we are, as you said, back here in Ulundi. Just 2 weeks ago, we were here for the provincial elective conference, and we return here today for the Youth Brigade's national elective conference. And you possibly can see behind us, Peter, the delegates started arriving from early this morning, and they are registering. Most of the registration has been done. In fact, now to try and speed up the process, the party tells us that it's a matter of them picking up their accreditation. But these are the young men and women of the IFP that are here to nominate and elect their new leaders. 8 positions are going to be nominated for and contested here at this conference. And as you said, Peter, that it's a conference that was supposed to have been held in 2016 and was delayed because of internal issues that the party was dealing with. The same issues arose with the provincial conference that, as I said, was held here 2 weeks ago. Also, that was delayed. The last time that a elective conference of the National Youth Brigade was held in 2011, which saw the election of my next guest, who's now the outgoing chairperson of the IFP, Mr. Mhlongo. Mr. Mhlongo, thank you very much for chatting with us. And I know you were about to speak, but we've just seen the IFP president behind us. He has now arrived and he is going to be delivering the opening address. But just to quickly come back to you, you're now the outgoing chair after being in the position since 2011. I don't know, you've said you're not up for re-election this time around, but let's just quickly look back at your time leading the IFP's Youth Brigade. There has been some concern here and there about the decline in support. Are you happy with where the Youth Brigade is? Are you happy with the membership and the support that you have from young people, where you have taken the party and as today, as you now hand over the reins to the new leadership?
Well, Anda, I must say that it's been the best of times, it's been the worst of times. It's been a roller coaster ride, but I think at the same time we have made significant gains. I mean, the IFP, considering the fact that we were elected 65 days before the 2011 local government elections, and also just coming out of that split by the NFP at the time, of course. So we were elected under very difficult circumstances. We will report to the conference that when we were elected, we had just over 450 credible branches because the Friends had infiltrated the structures and it caused a lot of problems for us. We're reporting today branches over 1,500. Constituencies are in place, provinces are in place, districts are in place. We've established the Youth Councillors Forum, which brings together all the youth representatives of the IFP, because we have passed a policy to say all youth representation in all public deployments must be not less than 40%. And so we strongly believe that we have laid now a solid foundation for the regrouping of the party and for us to take ourselves forward, considering the fact that we arrived and it was just a total mess. And so we really endeavored to pull all of it together. Of course, there has been the challenge of camps and factionalism, and I think it is something that the conference will have to deal with very decisively today, because it became a stumbling block in the efforts of the party to move forward. I strongly believe that the achievements you saw in 2016 and 2019 in the elections would have been far greater had they been a higher level of cooperation, unity of purpose, and so on. But we are confident as the outgoing leadership as the NEC that we're leaving behind a far stronger youth brigade than we found in 2011.
But just speaking on that, Mngulego, speaking on you leaving far stronger, you came in, you had strong representation of control in the universities. We mentioned Mangosuthu University of Technology. UniZulu was once under the control of Sadesmo, which is your student wing. Over the years, we've seen a decline in the support. You looked strong at some point at Mangosuthu, but unable to retain that position. A lot of political parties are have been really much focused on youth, pretty much focused in the universities, and that seems to be where you've been losing ground.
Well, fundamentally, student politics is very fluid. And because of that, there's toss-ups everywhere and all the time. These things happen. You win some, you lose some. We've had our gains. So we are saying to conference, we are presenting a strong set of recommendations in terms of action steps to turn around Sadesmo. Also, we are quite confident that the work that has been done will yield better results this year because we instituted a turnaround strategy already when we recognized that there were shortcomings. We also do want again to emphasize the fact that the tensions and the factionalism which characterized the Youth Brigade spilled over into our students' wing, and so we must really work on that, and that's a commitment which the National Council of the Youth Brigade made when we met last week Sunday in preparation for this conference. We dealt with credentials and so on, but the issue also was raised. So we are confident that all the issues which have been loopholes, really, we are tying those up. I think, Ayanda, there must be an appreciation that we were coming from a very difficult past in the IFP, and so we have had to make efforts to make sure that whatever we build, we do so credibly, so that we never again find ourselves in that position. So I'm pretty certain that moving forward, you will see an IFP Youth Brigade and a Sadesmo which is far more effective, efficient and functional, because we have built in a lot of checks and balances and controls in the party for operation. And now what we are saying really to the structures is that we need to expand our operations, and that will be a key focus for us.
Generally speaking, Mngulego, youth in South Africa are facing a number of challenges, joblessness, socially as well. A lot of young people, because of the fact that others are unable to get into tertiary institutions, they're sitting at home directionless. There's no jobs, they can't get into tertiary institutions. They then, many of them, even with speaking with you, getting involved in social ills, etc. Speak to us about the party in terms of the growth there. Are you seeing yourselves and programs that you have for the youth over the past couple of years? Let's look, aside from what you've been doing internally to try and grow the IFP, the youth out there, the elections as well. When it comes to the elections, a lot of young people not interested in going to the polls.
Yes, and when we did the post-mortem for these elections, and we'll be meeting again next week as a party just to deal with elections 2019 and draw the lessons and so on. But the initial report really said to us that young people, because of the frustrations that you list, no longer find the political space to be one which can deliver solutions. And so they are now to their own devices and new innovations. And I think we should have taken heed of this reality when Fees Must Fall emerged, because you found students defining themselves outside student formations, and you had a leaderless really movement in the Fees Must Fall campaign. And so you can see that gradually there's that problem. And so that's why we as a party had to effect our own internal controls to arrest that decline, and that's why I'm speaking about the growth of branches, which are now over 1,500. But also at the same time, we actually brought in a consultant from Kenya on the issue of cooperatives, because we recognize that small business development and local economic development was an integral part, and that program was rolled out to ensure that we give the necessary skills and expertise to young people to function and to have business. We've already set up a bursary fund as the IFP with an independent board as part of our efforts at fundraising, and we are quite confident that working with the party leadership, we will have that functional in in January 2021, because those are part of the initiatives that we want to have. And it's precisely the analysis that you gave, which has been our own driving force in terms of our thinking, to say young people need jobs. But the fundamental issue is that there is a systematic collapse of the economic structure of the country, which is not giving us the necessary skills, knowledge and expertise, an education system that is not dysfunctional. So what we fundamentally believe as the IFP Youth Brigade is that we need to get our governance systems and structures correct so you can have a responsive governance and government. And also when you're speaking about the social programs, whether it's free education, social grants and so on, those are all necessary to build up young people's capabilities and change their sustainable livelihoods. But they can't be done in a vacuum where the economy is not growing, because you need to generate taxes in order for you to roll out social programs. So our outlook really is on economic growth. And our theme, today is, at this conference rather, is to stay strengthening the ideals of democracy for socio-economic justice, because that is our focus for the next 5 years.
All right, let's just quickly come back here to the conference before I let you go. In terms, tell us the protest, the process rather. I know that there are 8 positions that are going to be contested. You do have candidates. I know you do not want to just speak to us about that, but you do have candidates that are going to be contesting these positions. Just quickly tell us about the process. You said there are going to be nominations from the floor. Take us through.
Well, the democratic process is going to play itself out. We encourage it as a party because we just believe that young people must be able to choose their own leaders. So what will happen is that the conference program is 3 parts. We'll table the report, the president will address, and submissions have already been made prior, so we're not having commissions. That was done from constituencies and districts, and those will be submitted to the resolutions committee, and then election session will open. Nomination forms, I'm sure, are already flying around, so those will be handed over to the party's election management committee, the EMC or the DMC, Daily Management Committee, which handles our elections, and then the process of electing will begin for all the 8 positions. After that, the structure will be inaugurated. They will will be taken through what it is that is expected of them in terms of constitution and so on, and then resolutions will be read. So we did a lot of pre-conference work so that conference could run very, very smoothly. But what we did not want to do was to open up the nomination process prematurely. But I'm advised, I'm not going to speak on rumors and speculation, but what I have seen and heard is that there are a number of candidates, and so that we are expecting an election that will be free and fair and free from fear. And I must confirm that we met last week to finalize credentials as the National Council of the Youth Brigade. So there's no problem in terms of all those issues. So from here, really, it's all systems go. And within the hour, so we will be closing registration. There are 1 or 2 issues that have been raised with us, and we are dealing with those. And conference will kickstart shortly.
All right, Mr. Mhlongo, thank you so much for your time there. The outgoing chairperson of the Youth Brigade of the IFP, Mhlongo, just taking us through, of course, today's important conference for the youth of the IFP as they elect a new leadership. As we said, the conference was supposed to have been held in 2016, and due to delays of, as he has said, that there were internal processes and issues that the party was dealing with, they were unable to hold that conference. But today, as you see behind us, since the early morning, these are the over 3,600 delegates of the IFP youth that are here and will be electing their new leadership. As we said, the IFP president has arrived, and he is going to be delivering the opening address. Let's leave it here for now. Peter, it's back to you.
Ayanda, thanks very much indeed. That's our reporter, Ayanda Mhlongo, there at the IFP Youth League's conference, which is taking place in Ulundi.